keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with
all right, everyone, welcome to Straight Talk with Sally. It is podcast batching day, and I have Laura here with me, so hang on in as we kick off podcast batching day. But as always, let's kick off with our dance party.
Was written in my palm. You are a statement explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. Am I awake or am I dreaming? So far gone, I won't look back. And when I move, there ain't no stopping me. You're pushing me up to the top. I saw the clouds looking angry, but then the sky reached my mind. And when I space out, I see the possibilities unfolding the way that I want. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You cut me loose. You make me win in every way. Win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner, yeah. 'Cause I'm the winner, yes. 'Cause I'm the winner, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yes, I'm the winner.
Yeah, all right, I need to fix that. That's not supposed to end there. Hello, welcome to Straight Talk with Sally. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Sally Sparks Cousins, the founder of the Sparkle Class Academy, creator of the Freedom Funnel, and you are joining me for live podcast batching day. So if you're out on the live stream, let us know who you are, where you're joining us from. It's going to be a great day. We have 3 amazing guests lined up for you today. We're going to be talking all things audio with our very first amazing guest. Then we're going to be talking about having co-hosts, and I'm going to pick their brains about design as well, because they're the ones that inspired me to do all this fancy stuff that you see right here on screen. And then finally, we got Stephanie Lou, where we're going to bring it on home with tips about live streaming. It's an amazing day. Now, if you don't want to miss out when we do our podcast batching days, it happens usually around every 6 weeks, but I think we're cramming 2 batching days in before Christmas. So make sure you register for Dr. Sparkle, because what she will do is make sure you get your reminders when we have a podcast batching day and you don't miss out on interacting. And that being said, if you're watching, use your tippy tap fingers right now and let me know where you're joining us from. Also, we do lots of other awesome training here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go on, hit that subscribe button right now. Go on. And if you want to see all the other things we do outside of Podcast Batching Day, you can see it here at this email address right there. But let's talk about our very first guest. Our guest today is a mum. She is a singer, songwriter. I feel like I need a jam with her because her backdrop is making me want to pull out the guitar. She's a wife, a marketing guru for SHURE, the Audio Kings, right? Song 43 is a podcast that she also juggles with all the other things that she does when she gets a chance to, and she creates music along the way. I want you to all show appreciation, drop some claps and hearts and sparkles for our guest, Laura. Hey, Laura, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good. You got the sexy husky going on now, don't you?
I do. I have a bit of a cold. I do, but that's okay.
Yes.
I'm just embracing my inner husky girl.
Yeah, husky, sexy girl. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Laura, we met recently on a conference that we were both at together, and I was so excited when I reached out and you said, yes, you would love to come on the show because so many people struggle with what to do with their audio and all the things. But before we get into that, I'd love you to share with me a little bit of your backstory of what's the journey of Laura before getting to this part of your life where you're that guru around sound?
Oh, goodness. Well, I am a singer-songwriter, as you mentioned. And so I went to Berklee College of Music, and after graduating, moved down to Nashville, did the singer-songwriter thing, was a demo singer, made my living doing that, and loved it. And then I got asked to demonstrate a piece of gear that's a vocal harmonizer that basically lets you plug in one microphone and sing into it, and it generates 4 voices of harmony. I was hooked from the second I did that. And I was invited to do this thing called the NAMM show, which is out in Anaheim, usually every January. It's getting back on track after COVID. And I demonstrated for, 10 hours a day for 4 days. They asked me back. I fell in love with gear and started teaching it to all kinds of people and traveling all over the world. And so my voice took me all over the world. My love for gear took me everywhere. And that kind of just transitioned logically and progressed into a career working for SHURE, where I do market development, which is essentially I get to go out and talk with all kinds of people from all over the world. I get to do Leap into live streaming, which is what we got to do together. I get to go to People of Video and Vid Summit and Podcast Movement and all those fun shows and interact with you, everybody out there, to talk about microphones and gear. And I love it. I'm such a gearhead, and I'm very passionate about making musicians and creators' lives easier through tech. So that's one of my personal kind of campaigns.
Yeah, we could geek out on tech all day.
Yeah.
Look, I'm looking at your setup in the background there with the guitar and the piano, and it takes me back to, I dabble in, I'm your campfire player, right? I don't do all the fancy. I don't read music. But I play the chords and I have something to sing with. And it makes me, I visit a friend in Sydney every month or so, and she's always like, just play our piano. And I'm like, I haven't played for 7 years. But looking at what you've got set up there, I'm like, I need to get back into music, right? I dance around in the dark with my headphones on to music.
Love that.
All by myself. So I love that you've got a passion for music. And I think we can definitely talk more about that. And I would love to ask you in regards to the music side of things, with the whole live streaming, but also singing together thing, right? With the delay. Is there any hot tips around that? I know I was playing, what's that app called that everyone sings on? And there's always that delay that you've got to compensate for as well.
Which app? TikTok?
No. But it's like where you can literally sing with other people. But the delay between the sound coming and getting into your ear, and is there anything that is around to allow people to sing together well?
Yes, I have not used this personally yet, but there is one that's coming to mind called Jam Kazam. Horrible name.
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense, Jam Kazam. It's a little, catchy, but that's one that I've heard good things about.
Yeah.
And it's made to help buffer. But, you have to be, if you're going to be jamming together, you have to be hardwired in. You have to, you can't be going over Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
which is what I'm doing now. So I'm breaking a cardinal rule of live streaming, but I'm sick. Leave me alone. But if you're going to be jamming, you need your highest speed. And
Yeah.
that's one of the apps that can bring everybody together to collaborate. There's
Okay.
others, but that's the one I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. All right. Well, I love that your love of music, your voice, and then just finding one thing that helped you stand out. That harmonizing 4 voices together. Wow, that is so good because trying to come up with the harmonies is a whole nother thing, right? As a songwriter. So
Yeah.
I love that, because we preach a lot of that, finding the one thing and going all in. And the fact that you found that one thing, you just did it for a while, really stood out, got noticed, and then you've progressively evolved over time. And now you get to geek out on all the audio and the gear and the tech and that stuff, and get invited to speak at some amazing events. So well done. Well done. I think that is so, so cool. All right. So let's have some questions around audio. So I'm going to ask, what do you think is the best mic? But I'm sure you're just going to go, look at the name right there.
All right. All right. Well, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
So, yeah, why don't you give some tips around the different types of microphones, because people get confused and they're not sure. And this was a question that came up today actually in our coaching session with our clients, is the types of microphones that there are available and which ones do they choose based on, where they are and what they're doing. So could you give us some hot tips around that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my favorite thing to talk about, really, because we are all learning how to use microphones in new and exciting ways. We're all doing this from home most of the time. Or let's say you want to start a podcast for your company or your job. You're doing it in a conference room or an office, someplace that's not really tailor-made for audio recording. So if that's your setup, I highly recommend using what's called a dynamic microphone. This is a dynamic mic. This is a condenser mic. And the way they work is very different. A dynamic microphone, just to geek out for a minute, has a magnet and a coil around it and a diaphragm on the top. So when you talk or sing into it, it vibrates the diaphragm, moves the coil around the magnet, makes an electromagnetic signal. That's how you're converting your acoustic energy into electrical signal. Condenser microphones have a much thinner diaphragm. They don't have the magnet, and they use something called phantom power to power a backplate that converts that acoustical energy into electrical signal. So if you're in a more treated space, you can use a condenser because it's more sensitive. So it's meant to capture details, nuances when you're singing or performing. But if you're in more of a non-traditional space, like we all are, use a dynamic because it's going to take a little bit more physical energy to move the diaphragm, therefore rejecting a lot of those other sounds that you don't want getting onto your recording. It's going to block those out based on how the microphone's designed. And there's also something called a polar pattern or a pickup pattern, which is how the microphone physically hears the signal. Mm-hmm. So if I go over here, you won't hear me as well as if I'm right on the mic, because a cardioid pattern is meant to pick up what's right in front, block what's coming in from the rear and the sides, and give you a very directional sound. So if that's you, go for a dynamic mic. This is the SHURE MV7, and I have it customized, which you can do at a place called colorware.com. But it comes in black and silver if you don't want to be schmancy. But who doesn't want to be schmancy? And so we make several other USB microphones. This one happens to be a USB XLR hybrid, meaning it's got an XLR port on the back as well, so that I can plug into an interface like Sally's got on hers. So, you can have options with this mic. That's why I love it. If I want to go into an interface and not go directly into my computer, I can. If I want to go directly into my computer with USB, same microphone, or into my phone when I'm on the go. Super easy.
Well, I've been on Colorware and they come in an array of colors, and there's like this holographic rainbowy type style one that I would totally be getting my Maserati done in when I get a Maserati one day. So that is the one I'll be going for, 100% yes.
Love it.
The other, now, because that one that you were just saying, and it has that directional effect, so when we turn it around, what about the other one that you picked up, the round one there? So does that also, do you need, whereabouts is the best place to put one of those?
Yeah, so this is our MV5, excuse me. Oh, MV5C, or excuse me, MV5, I can't even talk right now, which is, there's two models. MV5 is for different options if you're going to be using it for speech or music. It has some presets right on the top that you can activate. And it's great if you put it right in front of you, about 2 feet away max. The closer you get to a microphone, the better it's going to respond because they don't reach out and grab the sound. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have. If they use a shotgun mic, for example, they think that microphone, they can put it way off camera and it's going to reach out and grab their sound. It doesn't. It just blocks more of the things out that you don't want getting into the mic and gives you a more focused sound, but you still need to get it fairly close to your subject. So condensers give you a little more freedom and wiggle room. So if you were to use this, that's one of the benefits of the MV5C, which is this one. So this one's red, our MV5, and the MV5C is black.
Sexy.
And this one is made specifically for conferencing and podcasting because it
Okay.
overtakes your microphone easily, automatically. It has a headphone jack on the back, and so does the MV7. That's what I love because you
Oh,
want to be able to
that's
hear
good.
yourself
Yeah, to
and
make
who you're
sure.
talking to.
Yeah. I love that. And because we've got, like our girls were showing us, they've got a couple of them have got the little round one as well. I'm so bad at names. Okay. So
That's okay.
I remember your name
MV5.
because my sister her name is Laura and she has blonde
Oh.
hair.
Amazing.
So very easy to remember your name. I'm so bad
Okay.
at the whole names. But I think, understanding that. And you're talking about the shotgun mic, the little skinny one that comes out from the top. What's the difference between one of those, say, and, the things that we're using right now?
Yeah, so we make several shotgun mics, and those are traditionally used for film recording or TV recording, field audio, as we call it, because you can hold it above your subject and it will block out a lot of the wind. Because of, I wish I had one here, but the way it's designed, it has these little vents on the side that actually cancel out the sound coming in because of how it's physically designed. So a lot of people want to use it when they're off camera. They don't want their mic in their shot. And you could do that. You just have to keep in mind that it's not going to be reaching out and grabbing. It's not a magnifying glass, which I think a lot of people think it might be,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's just more directional.
Yeah. What about when you're speaking and it sounds really hollow or tinny noise. What's some things that you
Yes.
might be able to do to, like, you've got the mic, you've gone out and you've bought the microphone, you've plugged it in, and then you're like, that still doesn't sound great. Is there any tips you can do to help with that?
Yes. So there's a couple of things. First of all, you want to think about the space that you're in. If you're in a large room that has a lot of resonant surfaces, like think hardwood floors, painted drywall, windows, it's going to cause what's called reflections, which is your voice or your instrument bouncing off of those surfaces and coming back. So that's what can give it that kind of hollow sound. So if you get closer to the mic, that will eliminate a lot of those reflections naturally. You can also do some basic acoustic treatments, which you don't have to start tacking things all over the walls. But, if you have some soft absorptive materials like blankets, pillows, and you can place them around you, they don't have to be in your shot. That will actually help break down some of those reflections. And then you can also do some tricks with EQ, which we can get into if you want a little bit.
Sure. Why not? Go for it.
Yeah.
Explain to us what EQ is for those that don't know.
Yeah, so EQ, equalization, is what you probably played with maybe on your car stereo when people still played with those, where you would adjust your bass, your mid, and your treble. That's the very basic level of EQ. But we use some things called parametric EQs. There's many different other EQs that you can do. And it's a way of pinpointing frequencies that are unpleasant to the ear and dialing them down, essentially, or boosting certain frequencies up that you want to enhance. So there's some podcasting plugins that are very helpful for that. And we don't have to get into that right now. I think the main thing is to find a microphone that's going to work the best for your environment and treat that environment as much as you can so that you have the best signal going into the mic and you're not having to fight it as much on the post-production side.
Yeah, definitely. What about the lapel mics? So the little tiny ones, what would you recommend that they're best used for?
Yeah, so this is our MVL, which which is going to be hard to see in this light, but it's a cute little lavalier lapel mic that has an 1/8-inch TRRS connector. So you can plug it into a phone, you can plug it into your laptop. I actually do that a lot. These are really great if you want to be hands-free and you want to be demonstrating a product, for example, or you don't want a microphone in your face. You can use these. Now, the challenge is these are traditionally omnidirectional microphones, meaning omni, all, they hear everything.
Yeah.
So they're going to
okay.
be more prone to picking up a lot of the other sounds that you might not want into your broadcast. So that's just something to think about. You want it to be as close to the source as it can be. But, if I were to wire it up to this hoodie, you'd never see it. And so if having the microphone not be visible in shot is very important to you, then this is really great. If you have a guest who's really shy and they don't want to get anywhere near the mic and you're trying to interview them and they're all the way over here, this can be a really good solution. And plus, if you want to be wireless, we make some wireless options as well. Now that
Okay.
involves using a body pack and a receiver, but you can still use that. We make some great products called Duraplex, Twinplex, Uniplex, all these plexes, and they are great lavalier mics. And Anna and Fulgens have been using our head-worn Uniplex on their streams. So hopefully, maybe she's going to show it off tonight. I don't know. I'm very excited to
Yeah.
see
That'll be cool.
because she wanted to be more, expressive. She's very expressive. So.
She is a little bit like myself. Like sometimes I got to fight the hands from knocking the microphone.
Yeah,
so.
just I know.
Yeah.
Same. So that's a good solution for lavalier mics and head-worns, or lapel mics, whatever you want to call them. That's a good solution.
Well, what if we're out and about and, well, for example, when I go to Sydney to work with my staff, we sometimes go down and we walk along like the beach at Manly, and we want to do some filming there, and we've got our phone. What would you recommend is the best thing in regards to capturing the audio there?
Two things. I would say the MVL that can plug directly into your phone, and it will work with a dongle if you're using an iPhone. You can use that little adapter to plug into the lightning connector, because then you can just wear the mic. You wear your phone in your pocket, and if you're using it to film, you can have somebody film separately and then sync up the audio. Or you can use the MV88 Plus, which is this rig right here. I have it all. I got this wonderful bag from my friends at Ecamm Lives. I have to shout it out for a second because I love it. But this is like my ultimate hold everything cable bag.
God. All right, so I'm going to be
And
picking up
it holds
Ecamm.
my MV88 Plus so beautifully. So let me just put this all together. You can see it happen in real time. There we go. And so this is great for capturing field audio because it is made to go into your phone directly.
So for those
So
people
if I were
out
to
there
take my
listening to
droid,
this, yes,
put it here.
look at that. All right, Jackie,
This is
if you're
really good for
listening,
capturing that audio while you're out in the field.
That is so cool.
Oops. As
So
it
for
slides
those
away from
people
me.
who are listening to this on the podcast, you need to go and watch or come and watch us over on the
And it also
YouTubes.
has a little wind jammer, which I can't find right now, but a little windscreen. So if you were on the beach, this would be perfect for that, to block out all that wind.
Oh, awesome. All right. So I think you've got an order coming in later today. That's going to be so good because Jackie and I, we like to go down and get some content and things done when we're together. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. What about for our podcasters out there? Why is it
Lost
worth
Sally.
investing in a good microphone? Oh, you've lost me. Have you lost me? I can see that my sound is working. Let's change scenes. Can you hear me still? The joys of live streaming. Oh, she's frozen. Looks like we lost her. Okay, here she comes back on in. There we go. There you are. Hello.
Oh, That was fun.
That was fun. The joys of live. The joys of live.
I
That's all
know.
good.
I don't know where you lost me. I
No,
just kept
well,
talking.
no, I got the no, you said lost Sally and you were gone, and so it was right at that point, which Ma will edit out. Thank you, Ma. But yeah, that's really fabulous. I just said that, yeah, you're definitely going to be having an order coming in for one of those, so I can take it to Sydney with me next month.
Yeah, this mic right here, the real kind of selling point about this mic is that you can change the polar pattern of it in the field. And that's kind of clutch, okay? Because you can go from stereo to cardioid, which is the one that I was talking about before. And then you could go into this one called mono bidirectional, which is figure 8. I don't know if you can see that, but basically opening up both sides of the microphone. So if you were on the beach and you wanted to conduct an interview, you could do that and just put it in between you and the person and not have to do this action because it would pick up both sides.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of using this microphone. So it's great for field recording.
Oh no, we've lost her again. Here she is. She's frozen. Oh no.
Oh,
there we go.
Here
We didn't lose you totally this time. So here we go. Hi.
Yay. Okay. So that's the MV88 Plus.
Yeah, that is awesome that you can also change like whether or not you're grabbing the ambient sound around the outside or it's more directional. I think that's really cool. What about other techniques? So we've sort of covered the lav mic. We've got, your little cute one we just looked at there. Is there any other mics I have not thought of that we haven't sort of spoken about?
Well, I mean, there's this legend over here, which I didn't even take her off her little stand here, but the SM7B, which is, the reason why the MV7 was created. This has been out for a lot of years, since the 70s, and it's kind of the gold standard for podcasting and for live streaming because it's such a fantastic mic at blocking out those extraneous sounds we talked about earlier. So if you don't want to get any extraneous noise, this is the mic to go for, the SM7B. And we made the MV7 as kind of a nod to it by adding the USB functionality and some of the DSP processing that I didn't even talk about. There's a really cool app that is built into the MV7 that it's allowing me to control it and have some really good features right now where it's automatically adjusting my gain if I get closer or further away. But if you want the OG, this is the SM7B. Definitely something that you should check out.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, I think there's some really hot tips there for everybody. And I mean, sound quality, especially if you're in podcasting, I think is so, so important because people close their eyes and go to bed with you in their ears. They're not looking at anything. So, I fall asleep with your best favorite podcasters. Hey, you could be falling asleep with me right now and Laura. So the quality of the sound definitely makes a difference. When I go and listen back to my original podcasts that were literally just me speaking into my phone, it is dreadful compared to the fullness and the richness that you get when you have a decent mic setup. And you've given some really great tips there. And I'm hoping if anyone has any questions out there on the live stream that you would like to ask Laura, please drop a cue and ask a question so that we can get that answered for you. But Laura, we also like to do what we call sparkle questions as well with you, which are a little off topic to get to know you a little bit more. So I have some sparkle questions for you. Who are 3 people that have really helped to support you on your journey?
Oh, wow. My parents, my father has since passed away, but they always supported me from the jump. Goodness. And just it's not one person, but it's like my whole team at SHURE. I've never felt more supported than I do right now. So, yeah, I'm very lucky. I have a lot of people in my corner.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul. Yay, Paul.
Paul's so cool.
Love Paul.
He's
Mr.
always stalking
Moderator.
around all the places where anyone who hangs out around like the eCam community and all the things, right? I love it. What about some common myths around your industry that you could debunk?
Oh, um, well, so I'm in the music manufacturing industry, music manufacturing in terms of like the gear that lets you make music. And I think there is a large stigma around the fact that it's a man's industry. We are shaking that up lots right now. Um, but when I first joined and went to my first NAMM show, there was nobody else there. I was asked, well, there were no, well, let me scratch that. There were no other women there. I was asked to demonstrate because I was a woman. And
Wow.
so I think there's a misconception that it's that driven, by men, but that's not the case anymore. So if you are a woman out there who loves gear or who wants to be a pioneer in engineering the latest, greatest new technical thing in music, go for it because there are so many opportunities for you right now.
That's so cool. Yes, I love that. Like, women are shaking up so many industries at the moment. It'll be really nice when it's not, a man or a woman's role. It's just a
Right.
human's role, right?
Yes.
In so many different areas. It says female musicians are awesome. They are.
Ed, what's up? Oh my gosh. Ed and I go way back. Oh, that's so cool.
So cool. All right. So if you were to step into my shoes and you were interviewing yourself, what's a question that you would have asked yourself?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these are good ones, right? Thank you, Ma.
Wow, Mar. What did you have for breakfast this morning? No, I think maybe where do you draw inspiration from? Or
Yeah. Okay.
um,
So, Laura, where do you draw inspiration? Oh, Anna's there. Hey, Anna. We'll see
hey,
you soon.
Anna. We were just talking about you in a good way.
Yeah,
All good things.
all good things, baby. Yeah. So, where do you draw your inspiration from?
I draw it from my everyday life, and I think that's something that I talk about on my podcast a lot, is where that inspiration comes from. And sometimes I draw it from the past. I'll go into old notebooks or I'll smell something and it will trigger a memory, and it just, leads to that next piece of art or creation. So
Yeah. I love that you're always looking for inspiration around you. I think that also helps to bring gratitude into it. And I think being and practicing gratitude and being inspired by the things around us in our everyday is so important because we all get super busy and we can get stuck in the business side and all the things that you got to do day to day. But taking a moment and drawing inspiration around you on a daily basis, I think that's so important. Well, Laura, I mean, I could geek out with you all day around the tech and ask you so many more questions because, I mean, you teach me so many things because I love sound, I love music, I love dancing around all by myself in my garage in the dark. I have to wear headphones because there's no walls and the neighbours don't like it because I like to have it loud. I want to feel the music.
you gotta get these. You need these. Or these.
Oh, I seen the new little purple ones for when, because at the moment these ones hurt my ears. So whatever I've got in now, these hurt my ears. I want to try because you mentioned them on the conference that we were at, the Leap Into Podcasting one, and I'm like, and they're purple. So
yes.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have to get those. I've got a wish list, and next week's my birthday. So
oh my goodness,
I'm going to be giving my husband a whole list of things that I really want.
Yes. Then he's got to reach out to me then. Just saying.
I will. I'll be
saying.
hooking you and Danny up, and he will definitely be giving you my wish list. This is going to be awesome. What a perfect timing to have you on so that I could get my wish list together. And it's nearly Christmas too. So
I know.
Right?
Let's do it. We've
Let's
got some
totally
really good sales going in the US too. So check
Anna,
us out.
I am not a Scorpio. I'm a Sagittarian. So just crossed the line into Sagittarian land. So me and my bestie in business, we're one day apart. So she's on the 24th and I'm on the 25th. So Yes, I'm looking forward to celebrating with her. It's going to be fabulous. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, before we head out, anyone who wants to know more about you, I'd love you to tell us a little bit about your podcast that you have, because, you know, what do you talk about on your podcast?
Yeah, it's called Song 43, and it's a weekly podcast that comes out every Wednesday in the US. And it is about how I juggle all of the things in my life and still find time to create. And I take songs that I've written 10 years ago or songs that I wrote last week, and I break it down and kind of go through how a song starts from an idea in my head, goes to my phone, goes into my computer, and then turns into a fully produced track. So that some of the episodes and other episodes are just talking about life and what's going on. But it's really just been a fun kind of time capsule for me to hold myself accountable to do every week. And so I'm 25 episodes in and having a total blast.
That is so cool. That's going to inspire me to start playing music again.
Yes.
When I was sort of in my teens and early 20s, I used to play music all the time, pull out the guitar, write songs, and I haven't done that for 20 something years. So, yeah, I need to play more music.
You
I'm
do.
going to definitely be subscribing to your channel and listening to your podcast 100%. I'll be falling asleep with you in my ear.
Yay.
And
I sing people to sleep all the time.
I love that. Okay, so Laura, where else can we find out more information about you if anyone wants to go and social stalk you?
Yeah, it's at Laura Clapp Music. CLAPP is my socials, and lauraclapp.com. So you can find me there.
Love it. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Ed. Remember to like and subscribe. And I love it.
Thank you, Ed.
Reminding me to say all of the things. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much, Laura. We've got a huge amount of guests lined up for you today. We've just spent the last sort of 40 minutes with Laura. We're getting Anna and Fulgence on next, my building blocks buddies that really helped me. A lot of this design that you see here on camera are building blocks design things. So I can't wait to get Anna and Fulgence on. They'll be coming up at the top of the next, or not the next hour, the one after. But if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on Anna and also Stephanie, who I've been trying to get on the podcast for so long, I am really, really looking forward to having Stephanie on this evening. She had inspired me in so many different ways. Like literally everybody on today's lineup is awesome and has been an inspiration to me in some way. So make sure if you haven't yet done so, you go and register with Dr. Sparkle. She'll hook you up with reminders whenever we run our batching day so that you do get the notifications and you don't miss out joining us live. Best place is over on YouTube. But thank you again, Laura. It was an absolute pleasure. Any closing remarks you would like to share with people regarding their audio?
Yes, you are worth good audio. Do not make your audience suffer through subpar audio just because you think you're not really there yet and you're not, I don't know if I should try it yet. Spend a little bit extra money. And these are not crazy expensive. Spend a little bit extra on yourself so you don't have to buy it again. You are worth it and your listeners are worth it.
I love that. Do that. Fabulous. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on the podcast. This is Straight Talk with Sally. It's our podcast batching day. And I will see you very soon for our next guest that will be coming up. Have a good one.